Orientation is locked. Please rotate backwards. We did have classical radio on in the background, but voices have come on. So this is just going to be very quick because we've just had a strong insight. We've been chatting to Zendaya because Zendaya, we've got to, if we can't figure out how to ease up some scabs that have come on Zen's back, then we have to take him to the vet. And we were just chatting to him again because he wanted feeding this morning. We're still in bed, and we're going to listen to another chapter of Good Omens on the audio book because we've got book club tonight and we've got a bit of catching up to do. And so we were chatting to him, and then we were like, oh yeah, we haven't done the tuning forks for the skin yet, which is 32 hertz. Our weighted tuning fork is 32 hertz. And then it led to the flow of water. And we're very much aware that what we're doing energetically in our body with the reorganizing, the restructuring of the pattern, that's our contribution to the involution of consciousness, because we believe we're the rare of the rare, and we're getting better in some ways of being able to vocalize and communicate what's going on, but also at the same time not, because we don't really have anyone to practice that with yet, but we believe it will come when it's ready. Some of us. We're not going to talk for too long because we did have a moment yesterday. We know that we're processing some emotions at the moment, and when we do that, we go into our littles, and we still get very uncomfortable about that because we haven't learned the words and the phrases that we want to use, and so the old language still comes out, which can then re-trigger us on top of our triggers. But we want to talk about very briefly, it's more of just saying the insight of the co-collaboration of being in the Ayahuasca collective. We believe the highest form of intelligence is water, and you can look at Vida Austin's work for that, or look at Dr. Maru Emoto's work for that. We've done videos on how we've used our water with our tuning forks, creating the same frequency environment inside our body as we do outside our body. So we'll drink our moon water that we've tuned with the tuning forks, and then we'll put the rest of it in the bath. So we're creating the same internal and external water frequency environment, and then eventually the inside energetics will come out and the outside energetics will go in, and there will be alignment. And so Tito Popeye. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to try and describe that another way, because we did have this insight a while ago. So when you're squeezing so if you think of a 3D figure of 8, so two balloons that are joined together, so you don't have to tie a knot in the end of the balloon to keep the air in. The two thin ends of the balloon are attached together, and then both the balloons are blown up. So our body matrix, the connective tissue, the fascia on our body, which we believe is like the human body when we say our body for that one, works in a very complex, multidimensional way. It's a multidimensional cling film spider web. But to put it into simplistic terms, you'll have these two balloons connected, and then you've got the thin bit at the middle, like an egg timer. And the energy flows between the two. But the energy flows, I mean, you've got 72,000 nadis. Nadis is the Indian name for the channels that the prana travels down. In China, it's the meridians, and the chi travels down it. In Thailand, it's the sen lines, and the lom travels down it. So it's all the same. It's just the life force energy, and you've got the tubular channels that it travels down. But these tubular channels are, from one perspective, like a knot in a necklace. And so when your necklace is all knotted up, you get congestion, you get blockages of the energy not being able to flow. But if it's done from a perspective of, like, you know, those beautiful Celtic style knots where, or like the labyrinth, where there's actually it kind of looks like a complex maze where there's dead ends, but if you actually then go into a more finer acute observation, you notice that actually there's a flow between all these different energy pathways. So that's the an amazing, actually, we're quite proud of that explanation of the energy flow in the body, that there has been theoretical learnings of it, but for us, our theory, our upper chakras, our conscious mind, because of our childhood traumas and generational traumas, and dissociation, is disconnected from our body. And so we're landing in our body and connecting these two. And we can even feel the emotions. Oh yeah, it's all coming up, isn't it? So we've got a drink here. So we're just going to drink our drink to help the body patterning go down again. That's better. We were starting to lose it. We wonder if it was a certain energy that came on the live, because we specifically had to come on the live to, I don't know, we didn't want to come on the live, but it's a tap into a portal for us. And so with our EDS as well and our subluxation, that creates kind of more necklacey style knots, especially with our fused collarbone, because our collarbone, when it broke, although it was a perfect break, we weren't given certain information, and then it displaced. And so that then displacement, rather than being a smooth line of energetics across the collarbone, the displacement will be one part of the collarbone on top of the other, which will create a zigzag movement. Now that zigzag movement then will go down, it will mirror that fractal patterning all the way down through the body on the energetics. And so that was quite a sidetrack there that needed to happen, because the collarbone on the left, collarbone is represented to Gemini energies, the hands and the arms, lungs, nervous system, but that's your communication pathways. We were talking about the Sen lines with the LOM traveling down it from Thai. Our nerve touch Thai massage has been mega for this understanding, because you pluck the ligaments like a guitar string. And that sends vibrations through the ligaments that then has an impact on the subtle energetic body, like a very subtle micro vibratory massage of the nervous system. What we know through all our paralysis trauma episodes, when the only thing we could do was do our primal vocal sounding, that same thing is happening when we go but for us, we've discovered the most important one is inward sounding. So you go inward and outward at the same time, and that's sending it down the vocal cords, right down into the intestines, into that, to reorganize and structure that entangled necklace knot of energetics, so that it reorganizes and restructures into the Celtic knot, so the energy flows from the depths of the most potent energy, which we're going to call the creative sensual energy, because that's less triggersome to us, but it's called the sexual energy, the energy of creation. And we're doing the galactic Mayan calendar journey at the moment, and I think we've had emotionally the best Christmas and New Year ever, and that's kept us really busy, and it's actually been really profound. And we're on Shintos, aren't we? So we've given colouring in pictures on that today. So if you're following it, we hope you enjoy the colouring in pictures to cease the monkey mind. And so that's the interconnectedness of multidimensional time to a galactic earthly experience, the denser energies, the devil energies, the slower vibrating atomic structure, into the faster vibrating subatomic structure of the galactic energies, the upper chakras. And so the sacral energies, the orange, the second chakra, is connected to Kali. The Kali, Kali radial plasma, which is which for us connects into the Hindu goddess Kali, which is about the shadow. So we're just reading some of the trolling, nasty comments of "Stop talking, nobody cares, can you hear me? Hello." And then don't be so rude. Oh, right, that don't be so rude isn't to us, though. That's to the other people, but it's just trolls. It's about the negative comments, the hate comments, the troll, the love comments. It's about indifference. When we have a sense of trust and strength and balance from deep within ourselves, then praise or negativity ought not to affect. I mean, at the end of the day, it still does sometimes, but for us, this is an aim for us to get to. So this Kali radial plasma is connected to the second chakra, the orange, the creative, potent, sensual energies, the strongest. But it also goes, rather than like the linear format of up or down from the Hindu perspective of the chakras, the radial plasmas starts, but not all the time. It's this particular galactic Mayan year starts at the crown chakra, which is the Dali plasma, which we love because it connects to the artist Dali. Then it goes down to the root chakra, which is Seli. Then it goes up to the third eye chakra, which is the gamma radial plasma. And for us, gamma on the brain wavelength spectrum, it's a really fast vibrating sine wave so that connects us to the superconscious, which is the expansive quantum realms, rather the subatomic rather than the atomic. Then it goes down to Kali, then it goes up to the throat, which is Alpha. Now it's interesting because there's these little sigils, these patterns, and the Alpha for the throat is an upside down A almost, and the Kali one is an actual A. So it's the same symbology, just reversed. But when you put them two together, you get the star tetrahedron, the upward facing triangle and the downward facing triangle, which would represent fire, air for the upwards ones. Air has got the one with the line through, and they're the masculine energies, and then the down ones is earth and water, and earth is the one that's got the line through when it's facing down. And then you get to Kali, Alpha, Limi for the solar plexus, and then Cilio for the heart. And so these radial plasmas, we just started off on them, learning about them. But the imagery is really helping. And it's like a fundamental patterning of the universe pre-form. So pre the dense earthly tangible realm. So all of that obviously needed to come out. And we'll go back to the tuning forks because it was the 32 hertz of the tuning forks on Zen. A tarot reader that we've been watching again recently, San Tarot, has been talking about her ayahuasca journey, so that triggers our memory with our ayahuasca journey. And then one of us was kind of replaying the story in our head of how the room that we did our ayahuasca journey in was such an amazing room, because the four walls, it had three normal walls that you would expect of a room, but the fourth wall was a rock face. So the fourth wall inside this room where we did our ayahuasca journey in Somerset, the southwest of Cornwall, southwest of England, was a rock face with water coming down the wall, and then there's this little kind of stone trough that would catch the water and bring it back down to Mother Earth. So going back to ayahuasca is meant to be mother plant medicine. We haven't watched it fully, but there was a video on how ayahuasca can disrupt your nervous system and affect your nervous system pretty bad, especially if you've got trauma. So always do your research before doing it. It could have done that. From one perspective, some might say that's what it did to us, but we know from a fundamental core that we wouldn't be alive now if it wasn't for doing mother plant medicine. It's what we needed to shift certain energetics in us that was going down a dodgy path. So the combination of mother plant medicine, the highest form of intelligence, water, because it was a 4-hour journey, this room we did it in, but we actually spent the night in this room. There was a bed in there. So we were there, the 4-hour journey finished at 11 p.m. So that would have meant that it started at 7 p.m. So from 7 p.m. in the evening till gone 7 a.m. the next morning, so over 12 hours, we were in this special room where there was a constant flow of earth the rock face, a intimate connection with Mother Nature plant medicine, Mother Nature rock medicine, and Mother Nature water medicine. And there's a constant flow of water. It wasn't a stagnant, it wasn't a still water, it was a constantly moving water down the rock face. And so that's the major insight that we wanted to share, because when we do the tuning forks, tune our water to drink, which has also been cleansed by shungite, charged up by the moon and our crystals, and we drink it and we go into the bath, we also see that as what we don't know. No, it's like homeopathy or microdosing. So when then the bath water goes down the plug hole, it's going out back into the water system of Mother Nature. And so everything that we're doing for ourselves to change our energetic structure into a harmonic structure or harmonic vibration, where we are finally become what we want to see in the world, and we enjoy life for what it is and get to where we want to get to without being in this limiting situation that we're in at the moment, then that's creating the pathways then to put out into the world through this complex communication of quantum dimensions. We just don't have the words for it. But also when we go for a pee, it's happening then as well from the water that's inside of us. So for us, I mean, we're sorting out our health, we're sorting out our gut bacteria. We've just made yogurt, we're on Jun kombucha, we've got gluten-free sourdough and sourdough, kefir, kimchi, the sauerkraut. So they're all our live bacterias. We've then got olives and do really well for the polyphenols. So we're all about health. We're on coffee now, but we spend decent money on coffee to get the non-moldy, non-toxic, extremely healthy coffee. We don't smoke, we don't drink. If we do drink, it's our homemade elderflower like champagne, which isn't much. So the quality of the fuel in all forms that we're putting into our body after years of practice, because of our food being our support for pain, our support for emotions and much more, this has been a very tricky, almost addiction to leave behind. The smoking of the weed, which was a very great support, and the eating of it, that was 2020. So we've been doing this for almost a decade now, and we're really getting to a strong place of showing our body through our actions that we love it and we want to reconnect with it, and putting that information out through these complex streams of communication through water, the highest form of intelligence. So yeah, we just had that profound insight this morning that we're not only in a co-collaboration of mother plant medicine for the evolution, and more importantly for us, the involution of consciousness, and in with the mother plant medicine collective, which isn't all a healthy collective. You've got loads of people that just use it like a drug, but more importantly, that through that, over that 12-hour experience, water was flowing and streaming down the side of this rock face, and this was in December 2015. So it'll be 10 years ago at the end of this year that happened, and 10 is the number of karmic completion. So we're going to leave it there on the ending of that profound insight, because it's all these little nuggets of information that are going to come together in the future. Some of us believe, I suppose time will tell, because of others of us just like lose it and go, yeah, whatever. They're completely at the opposite end. So we're just recording this now in the live to get into that portal exchange of information, because we've not done it for a while on purpose, and many reasons. It's always many reasons, because then we've got this record to come back to later. So people that are rude, we hope you can find your heart and your love and your connection, and that you're not beating yourselves up too much, because what you put out there is what you're doing to yourselves. Lexi, thank you for being vocal and being supportive. That's appreciated. And we've got classical music in the background. Thank you there for helping our brain networks do a little bit of random flow of energetics. And we'll see you later. Bye.